Aaron Nesmith lit the court on fire by doing what only a handful of superstar sharpshooters have accomplished in the postseason. He rained down 6 three-pointers in a single quarter during Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, a feat previously achieved by Steph Curry, Bojan Bogdanovic, Devin Booker, Damian Lillard, and Michael Porter Jr. Yet this isn't just a story about a breakout performance from a role player. While the Indiana Pacers dazzled the crowd by clawing back into the contest, the basketball world noticed another headline lurking in the background. Michael Porter Jr. found himself in the spotlight too, for completely different reasons. In the same breath that fans applauded Nesmith's heroics, rumors flared about MPJ possibly changing uniforms next season. The Lakers and Warriors were among the top betting favorites, fueling waves of speculation on social media. But anyone glancing at MPJ's colossal salary might ask, is a trade even possible? Denver's front office, strapped for financial breathing room, faces a dilemma that grows with every shaky playoff outing MPJ posts. 1 year ago, they saw him as the ideal sidekick to Nikola Jokic, a long-range sniper who could bust zones wide open. Now, some wonder if his unpredictable postseason performances are too costly for a franchise aiming to stay in contention. This saga has it all: shocking moments of brilliance, a young star trying to recapture his edge, and a franchise pressed against the salary cap with little room for error. So how did we get here? And why does MPJ's contract stand out like a flashing neon sign among a growing list of NBA question marks? Let's take a closer look at the highs, the lows, and the real possibility that Denver might be stuck with a player whose career feels like it's teetering between boom and unjustifiable risk. Nesmith's heroics overshadowed another piece of breaking news that circulated just hours before tip-off. Biggest story after Nesmith? Betting odds for MPJ's potential next team. The Lakers, Warriors, Bulls, Magic, and Celtics all popped up on various online wagers, each with a plausible angle. Maybe LeBron's Lakers want more shooting. Perhaps the Warriors hope to rejuvenate their championship window with a younger piece. Everyone had a theory, and nothing felt too outlandish for a league that thrives on sensational trade speculation. Behind that speculation, however, was the stark reality of MPJ's contractual labyrinth. He's set to earn around $35 million next season, climbing to $38 million, and then $40 million in the final year. Any front office looking to secure his services would need to swallow that massive cap figure or pull off a miracle trade package that Denver would agree to. Even from a seller's standpoint, Nuggets management has to wonder, what do we really get in return for a player on a near $40 million deal who has nights of brilliance but often struggles when it matters most? It's a classic conundrum. A player who could, under the right circumstances, be a cornerstone of a modern offense, but who's also a giant question mark in big games. As chatter about MPJ's next destination reached a fever pitch, fans recalled why he became untradeable. In some circles, both as a blessing and a curse. Rewinding the clock to last April reminds us how quickly narratives shift in the NBA. Back then, Michael Porter Jr. seemed like Nikola Jokic's perfect complement, a near 7-foot marksman who could catch and shoot over anyone. Jokic's passes sliced through defenses with pinpoint accuracy, often finding MPJ for wide-open looks. It was almost unfair at times. Defenses focused on Jokic's post presence and his lethal two-man game with Jamal Murray, leaving MPJ to roam the perimeter, unguarded. Critics and fans alike dubbed MPJ the ultimate cheat code. Whenever Denver's offense slowed, they'd run a high screen or a dribble handoff, and Jokic would feed a perfectly timed pass to MPJ. A quick release from MPJ would bury opponents under a barrage of threes. The synergy was mesmerizing. Even in the regular season, they churned out highlight after highlight. The formula was obvious. They just needed it to carry over into the postseason, and carry over it did, at least at first. During one stretch, MPJ showcased a shooting stroke that rivaled the league's very best. He hovered near 40% from beyond the arc, hitting multiple threes a game, and stretching defenses to the breaking point. Jokic could rely on MPJ to bail out broken plays or punish double teams, freeing up interior lanes for the MVP center. Fast forward to late spring, though, and the dream scenario started. Fraying at the edges, anyone who followed Denver into the playoffs last season saw a glaring truth. MPJ's dazzling regular season performance vanished when the stakes rose. In the 2022-23 NBA Finals, his three-point shooting plummeted, even as Jokic continued racking up historic numbers. MPJ's shot looked flat, his confidence wavered, and defenders feasted on every ounce of hesitancy. It was as if the unstoppable marksman had become strangely mortal. The numbers told the story. In those finals, he averaged under 10 points a night, shooting a horrendous 4 of 28 from 3. Suddenly, the conversation shifted from praising MPJ as an X-factor to criticizing him for inconsistent effort and a broken jump shot. Coach Malone often subbed him out in crunch time in favor of more reliable options like Bruce Brown, whose energy and skill set meshed smoothly with Jokic. Brown wasn't necessarily a better shooter, but he offered lineup versatility, ball handling, cutting, spot-up threats, and, crucially, decent defensive positioning. One might chalk it up to a small slump, except the pattern repeated itself into the following postseason. The drop in MPJ's numbers was only partially masked by certain matchups, most notably against the Lakers, who lacked the personnel to contest his high-release shot. But in subsequent series, as soon as he faced longer, more physical defenders like Jaden McDaniels, the facade of unstoppable offense crumbled. When push came to shove, his percentages fell off a cliff, and questions about his consistency re-emerged in full force. The Achilles heel for MPJ isn't just about missed shots, though. From the vantage point of fans and analysts, his defensive flaws become nightmarish when he's cold on offense. It's one thing to tolerate a sharpshooter's mediocre defense, if he's nailing 5 threes a game, but if he's bricking shots while letting his assignments blow by him, it's a recipe for disaster. Take Game 4 and Game 5 versus the Oklahoma City Thunder in this year's playoffs as prime examples. Denver let crucial leads slip away in the final quarter while Jokic took a breather, and MPJ couldn't hold the fort. He logged unimpressive plus-minus totals, letting defenders slip behind him for easy buckets and sometimes failing to grab defensive rebounds that spun the momentum. The frustration boiled over on the Denver bench as the game tilted in the Thunder's favor each time they targeted MPJ's side of the floor. Fans pointed out specific plays where MPJ trailing behind. A driving guard directly led to wide-open layups. All those little moments add up in playoff basketball, turning a small lead into a heart-wrenching defeat. Some supporters blame the scheme, arguing that he's never been taught proper footwork or defensive rotations. Others see a lack of hustle or awareness, both cardinal sins at the NBA level. All these concerns about MPJ's performance intersect with the financial puzzle. Denver is a small market team, albeit one that tasted championship success and wants more. Keeping Jokic happy and in title contention is their top priority. The problem? They're staring down the barrel of a $199.4 million payroll next season, with repeated luxury tax penalties looming. For a franchise that used to pride itself on savvy spending, this doesn't just sting, it hemorrhages resources. When you look at the books, MPJ's contract stands out like a glaring beacon. He's owed more money than several entire benches around the league. The notion of unloading him to free up breathing room and replenish the roster makes a certain sense. But if Denver moves MPJ, can they get valuable pieces in return to salvage another title run? Or will it be a salary dump that nets them minimal talent when they need maximum help? Making matters worse, Denver's draft capital is all but gone. Past trades and maneuvers to secure immediate reinforcement have left them with no picks to sweeten a prospective deal. And that's not the end of it. Team owner Josh Kroenke's personal bond with MPJ complicates any trade scenario further. As two sharpshooters from Columbia, Missouri, they share a background that extends beyond the court. Some fans wonder if sentimentality is influencing Kroenke's patience, allowing MPJ more slack than other players might get. If that's the case, then perhaps no matter how bleak the playoff performances look, MPJ remains in Denver's plans for the foreseeable future. But this begs the question, how long can they wait while Jokic, entering his prime, watches potential championship chances slip away? Despite all these hurdles, the rumor mill churns non-stop about MPJ's future. Fans speculate about hypothetical swaps. What if the Warriors exchange some of their young players, plus a pick? Or could the Lakers craft a deal around their mid-tier salaries? Realistically, Denver might not find a deal that justifies losing a shooter with potential star qualities. They might also distrust that MPJ's playoff struggles are permanent. Perhaps he just needs a different offensive scheme or better mental fortitude under pressure. The alternative is doubling down. They keep him, hoping he can refine his defense, stabilize his outside shooting, and recapture the synergy he once had with Jokic. That approach demands patience, something in short supply for a franchise that still has championship ambitions. If MPJ continues faltering in the postseason, frustration will only grow among fans who see each passing year as another wasted shot at maximizing Jokic's prime. In the end, it's a precarious balancing act. Financial constraints, team morale, a star center's championship window, and a mercurial shooter whose best might just be good enough, if he can find it more consistently. So, as we reflect on Aaron Nesmith's explosive night, filling the box score with 6 rapid-fire threes in a single quarter, we're reminded that basketball can change instantly with one sensational performance. Meanwhile, Michael Porter Jr.'s challenges encapsulate a deeper truth about the modern NBA. Talent alone isn't enough if it comes with complexities that hamper team balance. His contract, defensive lapses, and streaky shooting invite tough decisions from a front office already grappling with soaring payrolls and diminishing roster flexibility. Whether you view MPJ as an untapped superstar or a costly liability, there's no denying his presence forces the Nuggets into a high-wire act. Jokic needs supplementary firepower, but not at the expense of consistent defense and a stable playoff performance. Denver's survival hinges on threading that needle perfectly. If Nesmith taught us anything, it's that unexpected heroes can step up at any time. Maybe MPJ still has that moment ahead. Or perhaps the reality is he'll remain the biggest what if for a franchise trying to keep its championship window open. In the grand scheme, the fate of Denver's roster, and possibly even their championship prospects, might hinge on how they navigate the MPJ conundrum. Will he rediscover the cheat code magic? Or is this final chapter under Jokic's prime nearing a close? The only certainty is that NBA fans from the heart of Denver to the far reaches of social media will be watching closely, guessing whether the next big surprise in Mile High City basketball arrives in the form of a blockbuster trade or an MPJ redemption arc.